Hello there, welcome to Craft with Fee. Today I'm going to show you how to use a water erasable pen in your craft room and the few uses that it has. So it's particularly good if you want to draw quilting lines, or if you would like to trace off a stitchery and then stitch it, and then you want to remove the trace lines. So in your patterns, and this is the stitchery sheet from the English Paper Piecing Mini Quilt Club, the first one, sometimes you won't get an iron-on transfer. Even though this particular pattern has an iron-on transfer in it, it's only good for a few uses. So most patterns will also give you the pattern sheet as well, so that you can trace off multiple ones down the track if you want to make more. Now luckily I've got a nice light fabric here and I don't need to use a light box, but you can see that if I place my fabric over my stitchery design, I can see the design through. And then all you need to do with your water-soluble pen is to draw the design. So all you're simply doing is tracing straight onto the fabric. And then of course you can pop your stitchery stabilizer on it with a dry iron. Remember that this ink comes off with water, so if you use a steam iron, you will of course make it actually disappear. So we don't want to do that yet. So you pop your stitchery stabilizer on the back, and then you would stitch your design, and your design would go over those blue lines. But of course, in a perfect world, you wouldn't see the blue lines, but you are going to still see some of that blue. So how do you remove it? Well, all you do is get a wet cloth. You don't have to actually dunk your work in water and then have to dry it and do all of those things. You can just simply dab a damp cloth onto your work, and you will see that the more that you dab, it removes itself. You can give it a bit of a wipe, but what you're actually doing is removing the ink without getting all of the project completely wet. And then of course you can let it dry naturally, and then that blue is removed permanently. You don't have to worry about it coming back like it does with friction pens. Once you've removed it with water, which has actually diluted the ink and made it soluble, you don't have to be concerned that it's going to come back. Now, of course, the other thing that it's really good for, I've nearly got all that off there. You can see I haven't done very much at all. And it doesn't harm your stitches in your stitchery if you're just patting it like that. It's just simply going to be removed. So you can see there, once I dry that, that's going to be completely removed from my fabric. Now the other thing that it is good for is when you are doing your own quilting. Now I did a pattern in the group, in the Tilda Lovers group a while back, which was my zippy pouch. And I told you in that to do some crisscross quilting lines. So this pen is the one that I actually recommended that you did it in, because you could remove it once you'd quilted your lines. And the same thing for any of your quilting projects, you can just simply use a ruler, draw your quilting lines, and then you obviously follow the lines with your sewing machine while you're doing your quilting, so that you end up with that type of thing, so a crisscross grid on your project. And same thing, once you've sewn it with your machine, you just simply dab away along those lines, so you don't have to pop the whole thing in water, just dab it. So this is just a face cloth that I've dampened. Doesn't have to be hot or cold water, either way is fine, both work fine. And you can see there where I've dabbed, it's just removed the line. So it's a really handy little tool in your sewing room. I absolutely love it. I always have one on hand, and they're very inexpensive. They're $4.50. I'll pop a link in the description box for you where you can purchase them. But if you're serious about stitching and you also like to do quilting, this tool is very much a must for you. Anyway, until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.